You're on a highway. A semi-truck passes you at 70 miles per hour. You glance over and one of its wheels is spinning in midair. Not broken. Not dragging. Just hanging there. Turning at full speed, gripping nothing. Most people assume it's a mechanical failure, or that the driver doesn't know. But if you look closer, you'll see it's perfectly mounted. The tires inflated. The hub's intact. It's just 6 inches off the pavement, spinning uselessly while the truck barrels forward. This isn't a malfunction. It's intentional. Engineers designed it this way. And that wheel isn't waiting to touch down by accident. It's waiting for the truck to tell it when it's needed. The reason has everything to do with physics, legality, and a problem most of us never notice: how a truck decides, in real time, how many wheels it actually needs to use. Let's drive into it. In the mid-20th century, as highways expanded and trucking became essential to commerce, governments faced a costly problem. Heavy trucks were destroying roads. Asphalt could only tolerate so much concentrated weight before cracking. In the US, regulations capped single axles at 20,000 pounds. Tandems at 34,000 exceed those numbers. And the pavement failed prematurely. Trucking companies needed to haul heavier loads. But adding permanent extra axles created a new problem. More axles meant more weight and worse fuel economy, even when the truck ran empty. A rig dragging unused axles could burn thousands of extra gallons per year for no reason. The industry needed conditional capacity, wheels that existed only when physics demanded them. The breakthrough came in the 1970s during the oil crisis. European manufacturers developed pneumatic lift systems, axles mounted on pivots, controlled by the truck's existing air brake system. The concept was simple. When the truck carried a heavy load, the driver lowered the axle. The wheels touched down, weight redistributed. The truck stayed legal. But when the truck ran light, the driver flipped the switch. Air released. Springs retracted the axle upward. The wheels lifted off the pavement and hung there, freewheeling in the wind. Early adopters were vehicles with extreme weight swings: garbage trucks, concrete mixers, car carriers. A garbage truck starts empty, grows heavy as it fills, then dumps everything. The lift axle followed that cycle. Up when light, down when loaded. The mechanics are straightforward. Compressed air flows into air springs when the driver activates a control. Air springs fill up and shove the axle upward. The wheels lift 6 inches off the ground in seconds. Modern systems include load sensors that measure weight on the truck's other axles. When cargo crosses a threshold, the system automatically deploys the lift axle. Some versions even use GPS, lowering the axle when crossing into jurisdictions with stricter weight enforcement. The lifted wheels keep spinning from residual momentum and airflow. They're not connected to the drivetrain, they're just waiting. That's why they look so strange at highway speed, gripping nothing, turning uselessly until the truck decides it needs them again. Lift axles show up on vehicles with variable loads. Concrete mixers leave the plant heavy and return empty. A lift axle cuts fuel consumption on empty runs by around 3%. Heavy haul trailers carrying construction equipment use them to stay legal under maximum loads while remaining maneuverable when empty. In Europe, lift axles let vehicles navigate tight streets like smaller rigs and handle full highway capacity. Car carriers are common users, those tall trailers stacked with vehicles. Fully loaded, they might weigh 70,000 pounds. Empty, barely 15,000. The lift axle bridges that difference. Regulations remain inconsistent. Some US states allow lift axles to stay raised when legal. Others require them down at all times. Canada and Europe have largely standardized around automatic systems. Today's versions are smarter. Self-steering models adjust during turns to reduce tire wear. Some systems predict when extra capacity will be needed approaching a weigh station, entering strict enforcement zones, and deploy ahead of time without driver input. That floating wheel saves a single truck about $2,000 per year in fuel and tire costs. Multiply that across every semi on American highways, about 2 million. Trucks, and you're looking at roughly $4 billion in annual savings industry-wide. All from wheels that know when to do nothing.